Now what we're going to do is put a thin layer of white over the top of this. Hey guys, it's Jamie here, and today I'm actually going to be playing with my gel plate, which I've had for months. I tried it out for the first time last night. I'm not a massive fan of the results I got. Some are quite nice. The main thing is that I want to use these as background papers in junk journaling, ephemera making and art journaling, even collage. I think I've got some things here that when I tear them up and add them to other things, they will be useful. I'm going to show you the two different techniques I tried last night, but this time I'm going to print on a coffee stained paper. When I did this last night, I did it on a white paper, and the amount of white showing through was annoying me. I want to see how much the colours get dulled, whether it ruins it doing it on coffee or whether it's better from a junk journaling point of view. I do have some largish sheets of very basic coffee stained paper, already wrinkly, that I will be using. I have my, I think it's called a Brayer, some stencils, some things to make prints and marks with, and some acrylic paints, and one white pouring acrylic, so it's slightly thinner. I want to stay on the grungy side this time because I think that is more useful for junk journals. I am going to mix in some layers. I'm using the white as well, and I have no idea how this is going to work out, whether it's going to look anything, whether it's going to look awful. You know, I spend a lot of time doing masterboards, and I'm wondering if this is going to be a quicker way to get that masterboard finish that I like. I'm putting more on because I think this colour's too strong, so I'm bringing it down a bit. I am doing a pretty full coverage, not so much patterning on that one. We'll go for that later when I've got a colour I prefer. I'm going to take my paper and just rub it over the top and pull up some of that paint. I'm not sure how I feel about the coffee stain background. I think it's better than white because where you've got some breaks, it's now not standing out as sharply. Next thing I'm going to do is grab another colour. I've got a raw sienna. I'm going to run that through. Even though this is still slightly wet, I'm going to print straight on top of the print that I've just done. Okay, that didn't make a huge difference to that. Let's try a different paper over the top. Not much on there either. Taking the one that's just got a little bit on. It's beginning to look something. Let's get a bit of the lemon yellow, and I think I have another one, Naples yellow, and I'm going to put on quite a bright red. And I will be mixing in some white. I will try it on my dark one. Too much yellow spotting on that. Rub over it. I'm just getting a background, and then we're going to try some stencils. Drying up a bit here. So we'll put some white over. And I'll take the one that has less on it and use this one. Okay, that's some nice subtle colours. Now I'm going to throw some white down. I'm going to pop a stencil over, grab a blue and some white off the paper, mix those together. Take a paper that's already got a background on it and rub that over. Whoa, it's pulling up my paper. Different. Let's just try picking up some like this. Okay, that's given quite a nice torn effect. Don't mind that. A bit thinner in parts, but these will just go backgrounds, journaling cards, that type of thing. That's fine. Okay, we've got some blue running through now. I'm just picking up the blue. Got a nice stencil there. On that side, the bit that I've just pulled off, look at that. I will use that. What I will do with this, because I don't really want to clean it yet, I'm going to throw some talcum powder over it, rub it, and hopefully take some stickiness off this. Similar idea. I know it's got some talcum powder on there, that's fine. It's mixed media, who cares? Grab a slightly different colour. Let's go with the rose. Shove a bit extra over. Right, let's see. Oh, I was going to rub, wasn't I, first? Nice. And then take that off. Grab a different bit and go over what's left. You have the stenciled image and then what was left over from the stenciled image. And I actually really like that as a background paper. Get a background down. And through that I want to run a green new piece of paper. Oh, big spot again. Might take some water to that. Get it to run a bit. This is quite a dark paper, so I don't mind just lightening this one first. It's going to give lots of texture, quite grungy again. Let's try some modern type stencil. Again, I'm going to put a background down, sponge on this time, because I want to sponge different areas, different colours. Go with the blue. Bits of purple. I'm going to actually put some crimson red through that blue. And what other colour do we fancy? Bronze. Because I don't mind tearing up my papers, I'm going to get another flower one and put it here and use the bronze on the flower. And I want a rose. Don't dislike that rose, so I may throw a bit more down. I'll mix some in with the bronze, see what happens. It's not so nice, that's a bit sludgy. Let's just do a bit over here. Now what I'm going to do is actually remove the stencil without printing off, let this dry, and then we're going to do another technique. Now what we're going to do is put a thin layer of white over the top of this and rub that on. I am just using very cheap copy lightweight paper here. Very gently lift it up. You can see some print through that. Roll that over again. Try this piece. Starting to get some things there we could use. We're starting to get this kind of fading away. You have to imagine it torn up and used in different projects. I'm fancying doing some sort of greys. Probably got a grey, yeah. And then obviously you can mix with black as well. If I can get a nice turquoise on there, need a touch of green with a bit of blue. Give that a mix up, see what colour we get. Let's print that one up. Wow, that's a nice background paper, isn't it? I'm not really sure what colour I want to run through this one. Probably do a purple. That's very splodgy. You can sort of see a pattern through that. See if we can get any of this up onto here without putting a top coat over. It's quite junk journal-y, isn't it? I'm going to do the purple again, take it off and go with this one, see what we get. That has made a really nice background paper. Just rub that over. It's pulling, look at that. I don't mind that so much. Quite grungy. I think what I might do then, as it is quite grungy, is take some of those, You don't always have to go over the whole stencil, you can just do bits of stencil with a sponge. Like a pouring paint consistency. Oh, very grungy. Look at that. Backwards and grungy. Love that. I'm going to take this off. Take this one and rub that more industrial side of that paper over that. Yum. I think you've got the negative and the positive there. If you do a very grey background, maybe even on white or grey paper, you could end up with some really cool prints really quickly. Maybe next time. What I'm going to do is clean up this mess a little bit and show you how we're going to protect all of these papers. To protect these, I'm going to throw some hairspray down on them from a bit of a distance because I don't want them running too much. This will just quickly seal them in case I want to do anything extra to them. If you want them less shiny, then you would want to use a clear gesso on them, and that will take the shine off. It mattes down the surface. Same applies to magazine and book pages if you want those to have a more matte surface. I have brushed these over with this Liquitex clear gesso. I don't think it's taken the shine off as much as the Dina Wakley, which is in a little pot and a bit more expensive, and it's much thicker. So I would say if you want to take the shine off magazines and this type of thing, it's taken some off. I would be tempted to go with the Dina Wakley and spend a little bit more. I mean, it's not too bad. It's still got a bit of shine to it. So it depends how matte you want your surfaces to be. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for the second part, which will be using these to make ephemera for junk journals and base collages for art journals. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did I improve towards the end? It does seem a very random process. I think it does help if you understand acrylic paint and translucency and colour theory more than I do. So if you are a proper artist and understand these things, I'm sure you do get better results. But it was fun to have a go as a beginner and take you along on the journey. And as you can tell, I don't mind showing you my terrible results. I don't just edit my life to the highlights reel. And I will see you next time.